All right, welcome back to Gigtirement, where we're going to take a quick look at the economic calendar for the Forex pair Euro US dollar. And I was checking this out last night, and I noted there was going to be quite a few pieces of information coming out today that could impact the pair, and in fact it did. About 8:30 we got the initial jobless claims, and that was 198,000, and the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Survey and the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, all of these were indicating, as they came in, the actual numbers, very bullish activity for the US dollar. So I saw the euro drop against the dollar precipitously here this morning, and I happened to be in a trade that was going in the wrong direction. It had been retracing, and but anyway, we'll get into that another day. Maybe I'll show you here in just a little bit if we have some time. But I wanted to get back to my eBay empire building activities, and I have on my phone, I guess I saw it here now, a new offer. So I guess it's within the last couple of days that I changed my pricing, and that I was changing from free shipping to plus shipping. And wouldn't you know, within 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, I got a new offer. So right now, let's go check out that offer. How do we do that? Review offer. Let's go review the offer. They're offering $15, and I was asking $19.99. I don't know what offers remaining means. So the one thing I'm concerned about, ships to San Juan, Puerto Rico, US. So I don't know if that's international shipping. I don't think I have to worry about it because I'm not paying the shipping. So already I'm feeling like, oh, I don't have to worry about the whole shipping aspect. It's being taken care of by the consumer who wants the product, and so therefore, based on the price they're paying, they're also willing to pay for the shipping to get it to them. Now, I'm feeling compelled to document everything because, you know, I've just been open about doing what I'm doing and just kind of taking it as it comes, and, you know, believing the best in people, and that so far hasn't been, you know, a great experience for me on eBay. So that's certainly a con. If we want to get back into our pros and cons about, you know, starting an eBay empire for Gigtirement, but it's still kind of interesting and exciting. I mean, the fact that this thing is going to end up in San Juan, Puerto Rico, potentially, is kind of interesting. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and accept the offer so that I can get on with some listings. So I'll end up having to pack this up and get it shipped out. But this will be the first time I've experienced doing something in terms of packaging for shipment when I'm not the one covering the cost of the shipping. So I suspect I'll need a label, So we'll see what that whole process is like. Well, I tell you what, before we accept the offer, I just want to go in here and make sure that I'm looking at it correctly, so bear with me. Well, in any event, let's just move on. I'm going to go ahead and accept the offer. I don't have to pay for shipping. I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm charging enough to cover my shipping. The person buying it is paying for their shipping. So we're not going to worry about it. We're going to accept the offer. Yes, we're going to accept the offer. Parts or to fix, right? And the description was pretty detailed about what the issue was. I don't know what's next. Payment is processing. Okay, paid. Ship now. Okay, so this is interesting. We'll deduct the amount of this transaction from your funds, $9.70. You have received $9.70 in your funds from the buyer for shipping. Please use this to purchase your shipping label. Now, this is the one thing I think that is interesting is, again, the shipping is based on what was, see, this is incorrect. One by one by one, you know, it's not going to be one by one by one, and so I have to change that. So this is a bit frustrating because I know that when I went through and listed these items, I weighed them and I measured them so that I knew the dimensions of the item so that I could put it in to the phone and calculate out what my highest shipping rate would be. But here now, it's saying that the dimensions are one by one by one. So, you know, this is a little bit frustrating. So let's go get the item and see what we're up against, because I'm not going to, you know, pay extra, right? But it turns out I'm probably going to have to, because the dimensions are incorrect. So, you know, how can you trust that when you put the data in there that it's going to remain in there? Yeah, 5, 8, 8. So 588. So length 8. Width 8. Height 5. And let's weigh it in the box. So yeah, 3 pounds, 3 ounces. And maybe it'll go down. I don't know. Well, it's not an irregular package. Standard box, envelope, or poly bag. So let's just see what happens. We'll hit save. We'll see if the price changes. See, $11.15. You know, I don't understand. So if somebody could comment below and help me understand, you know, what's going on here, why those dimensions don't stay in there when I put them in there to begin with, or why eBay doesn't wait until I know exactly what it's going to be to ship it to charge. I just don't understand this, because this is going to cost me now, you know, $1 and some change. But in any event, you know, the ups and downs, right? It is like a manic situation. You get an offer and you think, oh, great. And, you know, just when you think things are moving along and you've got it, you know, nailed down, you get this kind of a situation where the package details have to change and you're going to get charged extra, so you're going to make less. So I'm not sure, but please, if you can help me understand, I would greatly appreciate it. So we're going to purchase the shipping label with the $9.70 that they gave us. You know, the thing will be is if they're going to want to send this back, or I'm going to have to give them a refund. You know, that's just absolutely going to be, it won't be so bad, because I will have not paid for shipping, but I will have paid that little extra, apparently, unless eBay figures that out. I don't know. But we're going to download the label. And then we'll print a packing slip. That will just stay with the standard one. And we'll print it. Oops. I was going to have to print a file, but I guess I can download it here. So I'll go ahead and download it. So we've got them downloaded. I still don't have this printer hooked up to the network yet. And so I'll need to do a transfer on these two files over to another machine so I can print these. But that's where we're at. We've got some items we're going to be listing. So I got to get back to that. So, you know, I can build my eBay empire, so I can enjoy my Gigtirement, running here and there and gathering this and that, so that I can ship them you know, around the world and have to pay extra to do so. So we'll see how that goes. Who knows? It's just a little disheartening that, you know, we have to bump into things like this. So I just don't understand why it can't be more straightforward. I think, you know, just the other day, here, I'll just show you real quick. The only way for me to determine what seeds I was sent was to actually just go ahead and plant them and see what comes up. So take a look. So, you know, if we have to resort to documenting things like this all the time in a space like eBay, then, you know, I'm finding that more and more, you know, it may not be what I am interested in terms of Gigtirement, right? So I think there are probably other gigs out there that are a little more straightforward, They're less stressful, right? You don't bump into them like this. So I think, you know, we may end up just, well, I don't think we're going to move on from this per se. I think we're going to give it the old college try. But at this point, you have to be willing to, you know, forego these things, right? And push through them and see what's on the other side. I mean, maybe it does get better. I mean, that's the thing about even trading in the Forex pairs or stocks and options and futures, is that you just never know, right? You don't know until you know. And it's either a very good thing or a not so good thing. I mean, it can be neutral, and I suppose that's as good as it can get, barring, you know, the negative. But when you enter into a trade, you do so with the idea that it's going to turn out well. And the same thing is true here in starting a business. You start out with optimism. You start out believing that you're, you know, setting out on the right path, if it's a matter of the right path, but certainly a path, and that this path will lead to something positive. But when it is pockmarked with these types of negative experiences, it's like, you know what? I haven't gone too far down this road. I could just as well turn around and, you know what, go to the pub and, you know, grab a pint and enjoy the day as it walks by, as opposed to me being out here dealing with this. But in any event, we're gonna push forward. But I'm just sharing firsthand experience about building an eBay empire for Gigtirement. So, all right, till next time, happy hunting for whatever answers that you may be looking for. All right.